The story begins with a call no one ever wants to make. On the line, a voice trembling with fear and panic. My friend's been shot. It just happened. You can hear the raw emotion, the disbelief in their voice as they add, he's been shot in the head. He's dead now. The dispatcher's calm, methodical questioning contrasts sharply with the chaos on the other end. The caller struggles to explain what just happened, their words painting a grim picture of a violent and unexpected tragedy. This is the moment where everything changed. A life lost, a crime committed. But what really happened here? And why was this man targeted? Let's dive into the mystery and uncover the chilling truth behind this call. Behind every crime is a story, and this one begins with a marriage on the brink. Sam Collins and his wife had a relationship that could only be described as toxic. Infidelity had already scarred their marriage, leaving deep wounds of mistrust. Sam's paranoia only made things worse. He was constantly suspicious of her actions, always wondering where she was and who she was with. Things came to a head the night. She returned home late, slightly drunk after visiting their mutual friend, Jonathan Cheryl. This wasn't just an ordinary argument. It was the kind of explosive fight fueled by years of resentment and suspicion. Sam's anger boiled over, and what began as accusations turned into a horrifying plan for revenge. The stage was now set for a crime that would shatter lives. But how did a broken marriage spiral into murder? Let's uncover the details.
Start with why did you go over to John's house that night?
I went over there to talk to him and see him and see how he was doing. I hadn't seen him since the DUI. I went over there after work before I went home, and we just hung outside and talked about everything.
So going from there, let's talk about what point did you get in touch with your husband? How did that all come about that he went back out with you?
After I left John's, I went home, and we got into a fight, Sam and I.
What was the fight about?
I don't even remember everything. He was mad that I went to John's.
So this was before or after Parker?
The argument didn't end at home. Sam Collins, consumed by jealousy and rage, came up with a chilling plan. He grabbed a shotgun, a weapon he had borrowed from a friend for protection, and told his wife to drive him to Jonathan Cheryl's house. She hesitated, knowing this could only end badly, but Sam was relentless. Once they arrived, Sam made his move. He stayed hidden, sneaking into the backyard where Jonathan was talking with a friend. No words, no warnings, just the sound of the shotgun being racked, followed by two deafening blasts. Jonathan Cheryl never stood a chance. The friend, frozen in horror, was left unharmed, but what they witnessed that night would change everything. This wasn't just a crime of passion, it was calculated, cold, and now completely irreversible. But what drove Sam to this extreme? And how would his wife react as the events unfolded? Let's continue to piece together the story. The turning point comes when the police bring her in. She sits across from the detectives, nerves etched into her face. Before they ask a single question, they read her the Miranda rights. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. She listens carefully, her eyes darting between the detectives. When asked if she's willing to talk, there's a pause, a brief moment of hesitation before she says yes. This is the beginning of an interrogation that would peel back layers of lies and fear, exposing the cracks in her story. The detectives knew they were dealing with more than just a witness. She wasn't an innocent bystander, but how much did she really know? And how far had she gone to cover up the crime? The tension in the room is palpable as the first questions are asked, and the real story starts to unravel.
And he grabs me, and you're not going anywhere without me, and chases me down, gets in the car, and then at that point, I
So you
didn't.
actually got in the car and pulling away?
Yes.
Okay.
And at that point, I didn't want to take the fight back to the house because of Chase being there and everything, and we rode around
Where did the
talking.
argument happen from at that point?
A lot of it was outside on the front porch. And he was getting really loud, and I couldn't control him, so I just was like, I'm out of here. And he ended up getting in the car. I mean, like, chased me down, got into the car, and it yeah, he is a beast, and I I couldn't get away. I mean, if we've gone through these as since that.
So did he chase you down and gets in the car? And then, I mean, what
We
happened?
kind of.
As the interrogation unfolds, she begins to describe the night everything unraveled. It was supposed to be just another evening, but instead, it erupted into a storm of accusations. Sam was furious. He had found out she visited Jonathan Cheryl without him, and his paranoia took over. He accused her of betrayal, of crossing a line she swore she hadn't. His words cut deep, but it was his tone full of venom and suspicion that shook her. She admits they fought, but this wasn't just a simple argument. It was the kind of fight where every unresolved issue came boiling to the surface. Years of mistrust and tension exploded that night, leaving her reeling. Sam, however, wasn't just angry, he was planning. And with each heated word, the night was inching closer to its inevitable tragedy. But the question remained, was she a pawn in his game, or did she play a bigger role in what came next?
And so, I was like, okay, I got him calmed down. I got to go back. I've got to go to sleep. I've got to. It was late already. And, I would close that night, had to turn around and be up at like 5 to be there at 7 and that hour drive. And so we went back, and then I didn't know whenever he got the gun what was going to happen. And I know that
So you went back to your house?
we went back to the house, and he has been carrying that gun since Cody gave it to him for protection from the door getting kicked in. And, he was constantly paranoid about someone coming back. And so he had that gun, and then he's like, well, let's go talk to John. I want to confront him about you. And I was like, no, no, I'm not doing that. And we rode around, and and I'm like, I don't know what to do at this point. I don't know what to do. And we ended up getting into more of a fight, and I threw my hands up and told him to get the fuck out. Get the fuck out of my car. And I left. And then he called me and said, I need you to come get me. And I had no idea what happened, what was going on. He just kept saying, let's go, come on, let's go, where are you? And, I'm like, what?
As the interrogation deepens, a chilling detail comes to light. Sam had already made up his mind. He grabbed the shotgun, his mind set on confronting Jonathan Cheryl. His wife describes her reluctance, how she tried to reason with him, but it was like talking to a storm. His anger drowned out everything. She claims she didn't know exactly what he planned to do, but the presence of the shotgun made it clear this wasn't just a conversation. The detectives press her, asking why she didn't stop him or call for help. She hesitates, her voice faltering. I was scared. she says, scared of Sam, scared of what might happen if she didn't comply. And so she drove him to Cheryl's house, the tension in the car unbearable. Every turn on the road felt like a countdown to disaster. This wasn't just an argument spiraling out of control, it was a deliberate move toward violence. But how much did she really know? Was she an unwilling accomplice, or was her reluctance just a story to cover her tracks?
Okay.
And he's like watched our dogs and stuff like that, and so I figured he was going there. Then whenever he called me to come pick him up, he was on Masters. Is that Masters?
Right there next to Pinecrest. Next to
Pine,
John's house.
correct, yes. I always get confused with that right there.
Yeah, John's house is in Pinecrest, and then Pine Ridge is down the street.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, because I know someone that lives in Pine Ridge. Yeah, I always get confused.
Okay.
Then he said, you know, I'm like, you know, what's going on? Have you calmed down? What, you know, and he's just like, fine, like nothing. He didn't want to fight with me anymore. It was, take me here to Cody's house. He threw that thing back there. It was, why are you getting it? That's what you've been having for protection. Why all of a sudden do you not want it anymore? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
What was he wearing when you kicked him out of the car?
We had on a black shirt and jeans.
Did he have any camouflage clothing at any point?
No,
No, you don't remember that.
no.
Now, what phone number was he using at the time? Because we know he uses a bunch of different phones.
I know. I don't even know what that. I could tell you what that number was. Like,
You, when you were at Parker's, you sent him a text telling him that you were getting ready to come. You were at Parker's and he's coming on. Is that the same number he would have called you from? After you kicked him out of the car?
yeah. I mean, I know he had like one of those little prepaid phones, and then because our phone was getting turned, our iPhones were getting turned off, and so whatever that number, that was the number he was using, because I know he ended up losing that, or I don't know what happened, and he got another phone.
Okay. So you're saying that whatever number it was that you were texting him on that night was the same number he would have been calling you from?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, when you say you kicked him out and y'all were in Pine Ridge, are you sure that you were in Pine Ridge and that it wasn't on Masters Way where you kicked him out?
I'm trying to think of how that road goes, because if you turn into Pine Ridge, doesn't that road come out and meet up somewhere over there?
Well, Pinecrest has three entrances. It's got an entrance on Masters, it's got an entrance on Welcome Parkway, and an entrance on the McCracken Circle. Pine Ridge has an entrance on the McCracken Circle and an entrance on Buckwater Parkway.
No.
Yeah, sure.
No. I knew I was close to that guy's house because I've been there one time and dropped the dogs off.
And at what point did you realize what had happened?
After work the next day.
After work the next day.
I saw it on the news.
Why did you come forward at that point?
I was scared. He knew I figured it out, and he wouldn't like, there were so many times I had your card and I wanted to call you, and I'm scared of him.
What I need you to do right now, if you can give us a written statement of everything you just told me, as far as when you started that night, you saw John and everything that happened from that till when you realized what happened, okay?
You mind if I ask a question?
Well, sure, go ahead.
Back to when you said you and Sam got in the car and Sam had the gun with him, what kind of gun was that? Okay. What did it look like? Camouflage shotgun. Okay. He got in the car, and but before that, you came back to the house after you talked to him on the telephone, right? What time was that?
I couldn't tell you. I mean, between around 11 or so.
So this is while you were still at John's house?
I don't really remember. I don't remember how long I was there. I don't remember what time I left.
What time do you think you got there?
About 10:30.
So you think you got over to his house about 10:30?
Yeah.
What time do you think you left?
Oof. I guess I was there for about an hour.
Okay. So you think you're here about an hour?
Maybe 30 minutes to an hour. I remember smoking a few cigarettes out there with him, and then.
Okay. So I'm Detective Murphy. We never officially met. So you go home after Lee getting a phone call from Sam, right? How long? What did you guys talk about?
Just where were you? What are you doing? What time did you get off? The usual drilling of
And about how long was that phone call?
maybe a minute or so.
So you left Sam. You left John's house. Went to Parker's, and that's when you texted Sam that you were at Parker's. Come outside, right?
Come outside.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't remember saying come outside, but I knew we were already.
Okay. So and that's when you told him to come outside. You guys got in an argument then, I assume? Is that what that's what you're saying, right? So after you guys got into that argument, you left by yourself or left with Sam?
I go to leave by myself, and he chased me down
Okay.
before I even made it to get into drive.
Okay. So he chases you down, and then is that when he gets in the car with the shotgun?
No.
Okay. So you guys leave then? I'm just.
Yeah, I didn't leave the drive, the road.
Okay.
I was just trying to contain his anger and loudness, because it's our neighbors and my son and my mom, and he doesn't care. When he's mad, he doesn't care.
So you guys argue right there at the top of the road, kind of around that area,
Yeah.
and then you go back to the house. You guys get back to the house, and that's when Sam goes inside and gets the shotgun out of the safe, right?
He never kept it in the safe.
In Sam Collins' version of events, he took the shotgun right away, and he told his wife he intended to scare Cheryl.
But he gets the shotgun out of the house.
Yeah. At that point, I didn't want to go anywhere. I wanted to go to sleep.
Okay. So he gets back in the car. Where did you guys go? Because I had to step out. I'm just making sure I understand. You left there, and where did you go?
We just drove around, all talking
Okay.
and arguing and
Okay.
just really driving around. And I didn't know where else. I didn't know where else to go. Really didn't know what to do.
Why did you guys go back to John's house?
He wanted to confront him on me and John.
Okay. So where did you drop them off so he could go talk to John?
See, that's what we're trying to. I can't remember exactly where.
Okay.
What I thought it was close to his buddy's house in Pine Ridge.
Okay.
I didn't know.
Now you've been to John's house before. You already told us that.
Yes.
You told us that a couple weeks ago too.
Yes.
So you know where John's house is.
Yes.
You know how to get there.
Yes.
You know how to get there and get to Cody's house.
And not really I'd have to be on the road to do it. I'm not too familiar with all that.
So you, as you're going towards John's house, so Sam can confront John, you drop them off in front of his house? Because you passed by his house.
No. I know it wasn't near John's house.
Okay, I tell you what, let's do this real quick. I'll have you write that statement for me real quick, and then we'll be right back, okay?
Do you want to do some water?
Just start with when, and just like I said before, you left work, you went to John's house, and everything that happened from that point forward, the fight with Sam, what he's saying to you, how he got, all that kind of stuff, okay? just be as detailed as possible. I'll come back in as soon as you just kind of put the pen down when you're done writing, and we'll be right back in, okay?
The question I just asked was,
I don't want to get in trouble for not coming forward. I know I should have come forward, but what is going to happen? I mean,
Okay.
I
understand that.
This is not me, you know, like, I've never been in any trouble, and he, you know, I've tried to get away from him, and now I'm wrapped up in something that, you know, I just want to move forward from and take care of my son, and, you know, like, I gotta go through, like, more cancer treatment. I'm scared. I don't know what's going on.
Okay, well, hold on one second, let me, finish reading this real quick. All right, well, here's the thing. I know that, you know, I told you what you're charged with. And, you know, in South Carolina, if you know, assist in a murder but don't actually pull the trigger, you're still charged with murder, okay? So that's
Collins doesn't seem to understand that she is at least an accessory to murder. Avoiding jail time is not going to be possible. Even if she was afraid of her husband, she had plenty of opportunities away from him to contact the police. Before we press on, I want to take a moment to say thank you for being here. This video is completely sponsor-free, so if you'd like to support the channel, subscribing is a great way to do so.
That's what
But I didn't.
I understand. Let me just explain, because we haven't gotten your side of the story before this, right? So we've been having to, you know, we've been looking at the evidence and doing our own thing here. The thing is, I know you're telling me you want to come clean with us now and tell us everything, but I already know you're not telling me the complete truth. For instance, the password you gave us for your phone doesn't work. The two.
Oh, it's Chase's birthday. It's 0918.
0918?
Yeah.
and just to kind of emphasize on what Detective Williams just said about not giving us all the details and all the facts, the day that the day that we executed that search warrant, you gave us a phone that's not yours. That's your phone. The passcode you gave us, the 2888 number.
I just got that phone.
That, I'm gonna go ahead and stop.
I had an iPhone 4 and an iPhone 5.
What did you get?
Then I got the iPhone 6. It had been off, and I switched the old number.
What did you get?
I don't know what day.
Because the day all this happened, and the day we executed a search warrant at your house, you had that phone.
Because we've already subpoenaed the phone records, and you were talking to Sam that night when you texted him. You texted him from an iPhone 6 Plus. Okay, so we know you already had a 6 Plus, right?
Okay.
All right, so obviously...
Okay. I'm confused.
This is what you need to understand. Okay? You asked what's going to happen. Right now, what's going to happen is you're being charged with murder. Okay? You're going to jail for murder. This is your opportunity to be upfront and honest about everything with Detective Odom and I. Because here's the thing. We have your statement. I can already tell you that items in that statement are not true. Okay? Like your phone calls, your text messages.
I don't remember. I mean, I know you have the records. I don't remember those, like, verbatim.
Okay, and that's fine. You may not remember them verbatim. But the thing is you remember what you did the night with Sam, the night that John was killed.
For instance, you say you stopped at a stop sign, more than told him to get the fuck out. But you're saying you were somewhere near you dropped it off somewhere near Pine Ridge or something like that, but we have you on security camera, stopped at the stop sign in Pinecrest, right next to John's house. We have you take a left, and then your brake lights come on, and we can't see who gets out of the car, but we know you dropped somebody off there. And then you go down Masters Way, you take a left on McCracken Circle. Hold on, I'm telling you, I'm letting you know what we've got, so you can try to be a little more clear about this. You go left on McCracken Circle, you go all the way down, you come back, come in Pinecrest in the back way, which is when we can see you, your face in the car, because that security camera on that entrance is angled in such a way that we can see that. You come all the way back around. Now you're driving slowly past John's house with your window down. This is after you've dropped off Sam. And we can see on the camera the two shotgun blasts as you're right in front of John's house. Okay, so we know you heard the shotgun blasts.
No.
Then you go and you stop at the stop sign again. You wait for 20-ish seconds, 23 seconds. Just enough time for Sam, who's obviously got a limp, he can't run, to walk back to Masters Way, at which point you turn left, we see your brake lights come on again, you pick him up, we have a witness who saw Sam walking towards Masters Way, and he saw him get into a car. It turns out there were no other cars at that time, because we had the security camera, so we know there were no other cars. Saw him get into the car and saw you peel out and go away. So you were right in front of John's house when the shotgun went. So we know you heard it.
I didn't know that was what was going on. I swear to God.
Okay, so when you heard the gunshot, so when you heard the gunshot, what did you think?
Remember everything that happened in the road.
The interrogation takes a dramatic turn when the detectives reveal their ace in the hole, security footage. They explain to her, step by step, what the cameras captured that night. Her car was seen driving past Jonathan Cheryl's house, slowing down just before the shotgun blasts. The timing was unmistakable. The footage showed her brake lights flickering, stopping long enough for someone to exit the car, and then returning moments later to pick them up. She's cornered. The detectives lay it all out. The security cameras didn't just place her car near the scene. They aligned her presence with the very moment Cheryl's life was taken. The tension in the room thickens as they press her for answers. If you weren't involved, why were you there? What were you doing during those critical moments? This damning evidence is the turning point. Whatever denials she had been clinging to were now unraveling in the cold, unblinking eye of the camera. But would she finally tell the whole truth? Or would her story twist even further?
Masters Way.
I don't remember seeing him go behind the house.
Colin.
I swear to God, I am being honest here. I don't want to go.
I'm going to stop you, okay? And the reason I'm going to stop you is because this is your opportunity. Again, I'm going to say, this is your opportunity to do the right thing. Okay? What happened, happened. But this is your chance to do the right thing. Because today, I had to look a mother in the face and tell her that her son was killed. She already knew that. And we had to tell her that again. So I want you to stop and think as a mother how you would feel if that happened to Sam or happened to your son Chase. Wouldn't you want the person sitting in this room right now to tell the truth? So stop lying to me. Stop lying to Detective Odo. Because here's the thing. You're going to jail. And what you do in this room will determine how things go. I can't tell you that I'm going to get you out of a murder charge. We can't do that. We're not prosecutors. We're not attorneys. But the truth in this room goes a long way. So I want you to stop and think about your son. Because that's what John was to somebody else. He was a son. So I want you to think about.
Under the weight of the evidence, her composure begins to crumble. She clings to her denial, insisting she didn't know what happened that night. I didn't hear the gunshots, she says, her voice trembling. But the detectives keep pushing, pointing out inconsistencies in her story. Every question chips away at her defenses, revealing the tangled mess of fear and guilt beneath. Her words become fractured, her tone more desperate. I was scared of him, she says, tears now streaming down her face. She describes years of control, of intimidation, of doing whatever Sam wanted to avoid his wrath. The room is heavy with tension as she struggles to balance her fear of her husband with the weight of the truth she can no longer hide. This moment changes everything. It's not just about what she did or didn't know, it's about the fear that kept her silent and the guilt she now faces. But is she telling the truth? Or is this just another layer of her defense crumbling under the pressure? The detectives aren't convinced, and neither are we.
Basically, is he saying that now that he's finally doing over John's house, this guy that he is certain is responsible for y'all's door getting kicked in and Sam almost getting killed. Sam's certain that John did that. Sam told us that in the first interview, that he knew John was responsible for that. All right? So Sam finds out you just went to John's house. Sam's a jealous guy anyway, and this is the guy that almost got Sam killed, and potentially the rest of your family if y'all had been home. So what did Sam say when you tell him you went to John's house?
Why? What did he say? Did you ask him about the door? And I told him, yeah, I did. I asked him. He denied it. Said he had nothing to do with it. I looked at John that day before I went to work, the day our door got kicked in. I looked him dead in the eye and told him that he was the only one able to go into our house because I didn't trust anybody and I didn't know what was going on. And I didn't think he had, that was one thing Sam and I always battled over is who did it and why. And I thought it was over something else that he did in his drug world and not over, I didn't understand, my thing was I didn't understand why John would do that to us. We didn't owe him anything, he didn't owe Sam that much money, it didn't.
Sam said he owed about $1,200.
Yeah, well, there's people out there that owe him more than that, from what I hear, and he had promised that he was gonna pay whenever this, whatever legal battle he was in, the lawsuit or whatever, and I told him everything that we said. And he accused me of, sleeping with John, and I told him no, and he even went as far as to check my underwear to see what they looked like, and check to see if I had shaved my legs or that down there. And
Sounds pretty excessive.
it's,
What, like this, so this guy is wildly jealous. What did he say specifically about John? I mean, he's obviously going to be ranting. No one's saying it. He's obviously going to be ranting about.
yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think, I don't remember the specifics, it was just, why did you go over there, why would you do that to me, you're making me look like a fool,
What about
for
after-
talking to him without me there.
What about if y'all go back home and then he gets riled up again and he grabs a shotgun? At that point, what's he saying? Because you don't.
I'm gonna go confront him about y'all. I'm gonna go confront him about the door and who did it, find out who did it. And he was thinking that he was going to find out who kicked in our door by threatening John with the gun. I don't think he intended,
Let me say about that, because what happened when he got there, he didn't say one word to John. Because there was a witness out on the porch, right next to John, that fortunately didn't kill you. You already know who was out there.
I don't,
Okay, well, there was a guy out there sitting right next to John.
I didn't know who those people, I've never met them.
Okay, well, there was a guy sitting out there right next to John, and your husband didn't say word one. They didn't even see him. All they heard was a shotgun rack and then 2 shotgun blasts. And John didn't hear the blast because the first one hit him in the face. All right? So the guy sitting next to him had brains all over his shirt. All right?
The detective doesn't pull any punches when he tells Collins exactly how Cheryl died. hoping to shock her into being truthful.
So, Carlos, I want you to think again. I want you to think real hard. Okay? You take Sam over to that house with a shotgun, knowing he's going to confront John. You drove around the block. You come back and you're in front of that house. Two, not one, but two shotgun blasts go off. And then your husband gets back in your car
He tells you he's got to go drop a shotgun off somebody.
at Cody's house.
I thought that something, I didn't know that he did that. I didn't know that he did that. I thought that he just did it to scare him.
Did what scare him?
Shoot the gun. That's what he told me.
When did he tell you that?
When he got in the car. Whenever I was questioning, because I heard it and I was freaking out, and he didn't want to tell me, I guess, what happened, and I thought that he was going over there to confront him and scare him and find out who did it, because he then was talking about going after them, and that's why he wanted to take the gun. Oh my God. Oh my God.
So when you dropped him off, was the plan for you to circle back around and wait till he saw you, and then he'd scare him, and then he'd come on back out? So that's why you drove slowly past, so he'd see that was you. Fire the shotgun, scare him, get whatever information you need to get, and then leave. That's what.
When did Sam tell you he killed him?
Like, after, oh gosh, it was the next day, in, like, the evening.
So a day goes by, and Sam tells you that he killed John.
I saw what happened on the news,
Okay.
and that he was dead,
Okay.
and I started freaking out,
Okay.
and questioning him
Okay.
if he did it.
So you questioned him about it. So you started questioning John or Sam about it. And what did Sam say?
He said, "You better not tell anybody anything."
Okay. And why did Sam say he did that?
Because he almost had him killed and taken away from his family. His son, really, he didn't care about anything but Chase. He always used him against me.
Sam's reason for this was revenge for the hit on his house. Did Sam say that was his purpose when he went over there? He went there to kill him?
No.
What was the conversation in the car on the way to John's house?
We were still arguing about if I had sex with John, if I'd ever talked to him before on the phone or texted him, and I hadn't. And then, we were like almost there, and I was wanting to turn around because I don't like this. And he was slamming my head up against the window.
Okay.
In a chilling twist, she recounts the moment Sam finally confessed. It wasn't right away. He waited until the following day, after the news had already broken about Jonathan Cheryl's death. Calmly, almost matter-of-factly, he told her, "I killed him." The words were simple, but the weight behind them was suffocating. When she asked why, his response was as cold as his actions: revenge. He believed Cheryl had been involved in a past conflict that nearly cost Sam everything. This wasn't a crime of passion. It was, in Sam's mind, justice. But for her, it was a nightmare she couldn't escape. He warned her not to tell anyone, using their child as leverage. If you say anything, you'll lose everything. This confession is more than just an admission of guilt. It's a glimpse into Sam's twisted mind. He saw himself as the victim, Cheryl as the villain, and murder as the solution. But how much of this confession can we trust? And how deeply was his wife involved in the events leading up to that fatal night? The truth, it seems, is far darker than anyone expected.
Stop you is, my question is, if you knew he was only going over there to scare him, why'd you drop him off in the wood line?
That was when he didn't want me to be, he didn't want me to be seen. I don't know. He said, I just want to show up over here and scare him.
Had Sam ever been to John's house before?
From what I know, I think so. I don't know if he went over there by himself.
So, I guess what I was getting at then is, so when you're driving and Sam telling you go here, or he tells you go to John's house and you...
He was telling me which way he wanted me to go. The whole night, just like whenever you were asking me about which road, because I know a way that I would go, and he's telling me to go this way and go that way, and when picked me up here, taking me, it was all...
How did he know that John was on the back porch?
I don't know. I don't know if he... I don't know.
So you don't know how he was on the back porch, but yet you and John had sat on the back porch
No.
smoking cigarettes.
We were on the front. I've never been in his back
Where did you
porch.
throw your cigarette butts?
On the front.
So you guys are out front smoking there. You never went out back.
No.
So how did Sam, when you dropped Sam off on the back road behind John's house, how did Sam know that he was going to be on the back porch?
I don't think he knew that he was going to be on the back porch. I think he was going to scare him, and he happened to be on the back porch smoking.
So if Sam shows up, he gets back there and John's not on the back porch, what's Sam's move going to be?
Knock on the back door.
Knock on the back door?
Or go in the back. I don't know what.
Then why is it that when Sam got in your car, he was wearing camouflage?
He doesn't wear camel. What?
Don't let it stop you, because we know he was wearing camouflage.
We have his DNA.
We have his DNA from a camouflage suit that was recovered with the shotgun that he was wearing in your car.
Shirt, camouflage
Shirt.
Okay, a shirt. Okay.
Yeah.
I remember him wearing a black shirt. I don't remember a camo shirt.
So where did he put the shotgun when he got back in your car?
In the like side, right there by the door.
So you don't remember him wearing camouflage while in your car?
No, I don't remember him. I really don't remember camo. I couldn't picture the shirt that y'all are talking about.
How about his hat?
I don't remember him wearing a hat. He had on a hat.
Yeah, he was wearing a camouflage jacket or shirt style thing.
He
And
must
a
have
baseball
taken that off before I saw him, because he didn't have that on whenever I was with him. He had on a black shirt and like dark blue jeans.
Okay. So what did he do with that stuff when you guys got over to Cody's?
Whenever we got to Cody's, he told me to stop and let him out. He got out, and I couldn't tell what he was doing, and then I knew he threw something in the back of Cody's trunk, and he told me to turn around in the little Colby and pick him up.
After the next day, when was the next time he talked to Cody after that?
I don't know. I rarely saw Cody. Like, I maybe had seen him once, and I don't know, I couldn't tell you the last time I saw Cody.
And why did he get the shotgun from Cody in the first place?
After the door got kicked in.
So was that right after the door got kicked in is when he got that?
Yeah.
Skylar, we've talked about a lot, and some of the things that, again, that are in this statement, we know that aren't right. You know that. You just told us. You just told us that there was some of those items that we were picking out of your statement is not true.
I know, I mean,
Opportunity to amend that.
yes, and you gave me the opportunity, and I want to be honest with you. I'm
So this is
rattling my brain. I mean, there's things that are,
So
I just don't understand.
what Detective O is saying about amending it is meaning that this is your opportunity, because we have one statement right there. Okay? Now, we've talked about more since that statement. This is that opportunity again for you to make any changes to your statement. To talk about
Rewrite.
to write, which we just talked about. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because
Right.
we
Right.
still want your words.
Like, I'm lost at words.
I tell you what, do you need to use the restroom anyway?
Collins has reached a point where she is struggling to form clear thoughts. The detectives decide that instead of pressuring her further, they might get better results if they take a break.
Cigarette. Can you do that before I write? I promise.
We can let you-
What?
It's not what we want.
I know,
We
not
want
what you
to write
want.
the
I
truth.
will, right, yes. And I want to give you the truth. I don't want,
Well, that's what
I
we
want justice for John, like, and I want it to be right.
Then we'll step outside, we'll let you smoke a cigarette, I'll go find you later. Detective Odom does have to put handcuffs on you again, because you're still under arrest, okay? But we'll walk you back outside, let you smoke a cigarette again, and then come in. You still have that lighter from her?
No, I gave my mayor's because it was somebody in that class. All right, so like I said, just, yeah, I mean, start over, basically, you start with, when you meet up with Sam at your house, or when, from the moment that he realizes you want to see John. Start there, and go back there, you know, I wouldn't say, most people, with somebody like this, most people are gonna be lying a little bit in the first statement, all right? Second statement is where you really have the opportunity to be as honest as possible, okay? So you just lay it all out there, you know, obviously you can tell from everything we got, that we've been telling you about that we have, you know, the only way you can show that you're willing to do what's best is by being completely honest, because, you know, if it ends up we see another lie, then it's showing us that you're still being deceptive, you know, because I've told you a lot of what we've got even more than what I've told you, okay? So,
They had, I don't know if you like those or not, they got a training going on in the other room, I stole what I could for you.
all right, then, we'll be back as soon as you're done, okay? So the night that y'all's door got kicked in, you had put a lot of Sam's guns in the shed, is that where you're talking about, the other building?
Mm-hmm.
And John knew about that?
Yeah. Sam was going off on a bender, was drinking and drugs, and had been acting all kinds of crazy. That's where he used all of his gunshots and shit, like, it was crazy. That's why.
So most of those were not from the invasion, that was from Sam just shooting off in the house?
A little bit of both.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, and that's why I sent my family, I got them a hotel room that night because I didn't feel comfortable going to work and closing. My mom didn't feel comfortable staying there with Chase and him and no one else. And it just happened to be John was there. He knew my parents were gone. He saw me put the guns, and I locked them in the building and took the keys, and there happened to be one still in the house. and Sam found it, and then that's how all of the rest of it transpired. They kicked in the door. He said he heard motherfucker and freeze, and he was in the bedroom. They came around, shot, he shot. No one else was there. I come there like literally 5 minutes after it happened. Doors wide open, dogs are gone. So like, John was the last person that was there that day, and he saw me lock those guns up.
Where did you lock him up in the building?
I just
Cheryl may have had access, but Collins doesn't give a clear reason why he would do such a thing.
threw him in, like, I just locked the building, like, locked him
Just put the
in.
building in.
Yeah.
Okay. And Sam was okay with you taking the guns and putting them in there?
Well, John was there, and he's like, don't worry, I'll take care of him, it's okay, sober him up,
Right.
And I was like, okay, just promise me, and that's what I ever said, you're the only one allowed in the house, you're the only one that I trust.
Right.
And then all that happened, and I don't know where it came from, or what, or why,
Yeah.
but
Do you think John had feelings for you?
I think so,
No. Did he know about how Sam treated you and stuff?
a little bit.
Did he ever talk to you about that?
No. I mean, I've had certain people talk to me about it, and I just had nowhere to go. I would go to my mom's, but they had been in a bad situation and ended up in there with us, and so we were all looking to get out and get away from him. And she didn't want to leave me there with him.
All right. I think that's just about everything. I'm going to stick you back in the cell real quick. We're going to finish up some paperwork we got to do here, and then we'll transport you out.
Any, I don't know, what's next?
Well-
What's gonna,
Next you'll have the very next thing is you'll have a bond hearing. Not sure exactly when that happens because for something like this, it has to go in front of a circuit judge instead of the normal magistrate that most bond hearings are. So the bond hearing may be tomorrow, maybe in a couple of days. I'm not sure exactly when because, like I said, it's a little bit different.
In the end, the court delivered its verdict. Despite her claims of fear and coercion, the evidence was undeniable. She wasn't just a bystander, she was an accomplice. Found guilty of being an accessory to murder, she was sentenced to 15 years in prison. Justice had been served, but for the families involved, the scars of that night would never fully heal. This case is a stark reminder of how toxic relationships can spiral into unimaginable violence, leaving destruction in their wake. But was this justice, or was she simply another victim of Sam's control? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this story compelling, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. And for even more gripping true crime cases, stick around, there's plenty more to uncover. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next story.